Hello, my name is Mnoto Nyembe. I'm from Cape Town, South Africa, and this is my submission for the Talk AI Hackathon. So, I'm going to just quickly demo the CRUD functionality. I've already pre-populated the database with some information. I'm going to be demoing the pagination and the functionality to create, edit, and delete both employees and projects. So I'll start with the project. Currently, we have just 7 projects in the system. I'm going to create a new one. So we will say FB, and this project, we will set a color for it. We've got a really generic color picker. And I just added an extra field which specifies whether whether the project has to be completed on premises, or it doesn't matter where it's completed, it can be remote. So in this case, I'll say yes. I'll just say FBI just for the sake of mixing the 3-letter. Okay, so I've got FBI created. Now there is 7 projects in total. I'll show you the edit functionality. So we can change this to take a lot, to take, and the update button is updated when, like, it's enabled when you're editing. So there it is, and you can see now it's take, it's changed, and now I can delete it as well, and it's deleted now. It doesn't exist anymore. So I'll just recreate it to make sure that it exists. Take a lot. There you go. For employees, we can also do the same thing. We can add a new employee. Currently we have 7 employees. I'll add an 8th one. We'll call him Johnny Depp. Oh, sorry. We'll copy the Depp to the surname and depp@gmail.com. And his work location, we are going to set it as remote, that he only works remotely. So currently the way I've set up the system is if a employee works remotely, they can only work on projects that are set to be enabled to be remote workable. Otherwise, if a employee is in the office, they can work on any project. They can work on both remote projects and projects that are in the office. So I'll add that. We'll just check that he's been added. There's Johnny Depp. So I'll just edit his name to Johnny Depp's. There he is. And then I can delete him as well. There it is, it's deleted. So now I'll showcase the scheduling system. And at the moment there is nothing, so we can create some projects. So Mushagi, in our case, is a remote employee. And you can see that he cannot pick any of the projects that require him to be in the office. They are disabled, so he can only pick out of these projects. At the moment we'll assign him to Bash maybe twice this week. We can assign Chris Hammond to the FBI project. It applies the color that you chose, but I just made sure that it's pleasing to the eye, so it's a bit more opaque. I can just refresh quickly to make sure that these are persisted. we can swap weeks. If we go back, these still exist. So now I'm going to showcase, oh yes, sorry, you can also delete any assignment, and you can check with the refresh, they are no longer there. So I'll apply the project again. So now I will showcase the AI assistant that I've added. We can just ask it, you can't send a message, and it's disabled, the same button. If there isn't any message, and you can just access it by clicking this icon at the bottom right. So I will maybe type hello. Hello, how can I assist you today? And I can ask it maybe at the beginning to give me a list of all the employees that would only work remotely. Can you give me a list of all the employees that work remotely? So I decided to use LangChain on LangChain 4J on the Spring app as the library of choice instead of the normal Spring AI. So there's the answer that we have. Here are the employees that work remotely. It's Mushangi Maibo. I set it in such a way that the prompt makes sure to return the response in Markdown, and then on the UI, I just format it in such a way that it's pleasing to the user. So we have two employees, Mushangi Maibo and Wandile Nyembe. They both work remotely. We can just check that. Wandile, he's remote, his location. Mushangi Maibo, he's remote as well. Noto there, he's in office, and the rest are also work in the office. So we can go back to our chat and say, can you give me a list of all the employees that work on site? Can wait for the response. And there we have our list of 5 employees. Now I will ask it to assign Mushagi. I see that Mushagi Maibo has a free gap this week. Please assign some assignments to him that make sense. I hope that prompt is good enough. So it should notice that Mushagi has been working on Bash, and it should assign him some Bash assignments, projects for the rest of the week. Oh, I didn't prompt it to assign for the rest of the week, but let's hope it understands that. I also have implemented a polling mechanism every 10 seconds so that it sort of looks like it's real time. And there we go, it assigned Mushagi Maibo projects for the rest of the week. And it lists all the projects that were assigned to him. Please let me know if I can get further assistance. So it also has the ability to assign projects on a specific day. Can you please assign Wandile Nyembe the take a lot project for the whole week. Maybe I will say for this day, this week. Another thing that I didn't mention is that I added a rule that we can't assign projects on the weekend, so you can't click on, there's no drop down here, and I have a tooltip that just appears when the user hovers over it to prevent them from, to give them a useful message. Also, the LLM will know, I give it context that as part of the system prompt that it can't assign projects on a weekend. We can just test it out. Also assign him the same project on Saturday. It should say that he's not allowed. I'm sorry, but assignments cannot be made on weekends. One delinium, they cannot be assigned the Take a Lot project on Saturday. I can then ask it, I can maybe manually assign Bash project to multiple different people for the past week as well. And so I've assigned projects for the previous week. I can ask it who was the first person to be assigned the Bash project. Who was the first person to be assigned to the Bash project? And it should say Dale Nuns because he's the first person last week. Therefore, I cannot provide any information. Maybe I should give it a better prompt. Who was the first person to be assigned to the Bash assignments to the Bash project for this month? Seems like the second prompt worked. The first person to be assigned to the Bash project this month was Dale Nuns on April 14th. And if you go back, we can see that. And we can ask it, how many hours has Dale Nuns worked on this project this month? How many hours has Dale Nuns worked on this project this month? We can maybe, to make it slightly more interesting, we can remove his name. Hope that it has context of who I'm referring to. How many hours has he worked on this project this month? So the assumption is that each day is an 8-hour workday. So let's count how many days Dale has worked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if my math is correct, I believe that makes 40 hours. So we can ask it how many hours in total have been worked on the Bash project this month across all employees. I hope that this is good enough of a prompt for it to realize that I'm just applying it to everyone and not just Dale Nuns. A total of 80 hours. I believe that was 5 for Dale plus 5 for Mushagi Maibo. I can ask it how many people who has worked on the Bash application, Bash project, sorry, not application, project this month. And it should say Mushagi Maibo and Dale Nance. I have other prompts here copied that I've written down that I want to taste it with, and I see I don't have a lot of time. I will just paste it here. The prompt is, how many employees don't have projects assigned to them this week? So I hope it will give me Mnoto, Johnny Pop, Heinrich Malott, so that I can know who to assign projects to. There are two employees who do not have projects assigned to them this week, Johnny Pop and Heinrich Malott. Unfortunately, it's Mnoto and Johnny Pop. I believe it did not get Heinrich Malott correctly. I believe that is everything. Yeah, thanks. That is my submission for this hackathon, and I hope I win. Thank you.